Welcome, everybody. The majesty of the Sierras in springtime. Right? When we came up last night, it was a little bit rainier, so all of you that have recently arrived, I want to thank you for bringing a little bit of respite in the rain, get a little sunshine coming out, and for us to celebrate a truly remarkable day. It's a historic day, marking 100 years of ingenuity, service, and sustainability. First off, I want to acknowledge the tremendous leadership and staff of Yosemite National Park. We have an exceptional partnership with this park and the National Park Service. It's a partnership with a focus on protecting natural resources. We are aligned in our goal of conserving and protecting the natural ecosystem of the Tuolumne River and its watershed for current and future generations. I can't say enough about how much we appreciate the Yosemite National Park team, including Hetch Hetchy Program Manager Ed Dunleavy, and the work we do with them. And thank you all so much for being here. We have some attendees I'd like to recognize. We have Sam Yankovic from Senator Dianne Feinstein's office, and we know what a leader Senator Feinstein is in looking out for water issues here in the state of California. Members of the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, President Nusha Ajami, Vice President Sophie Maxwell, and Tim Paulson. Thanks for being here. BOSCA representatives, Chair of the Board, Gustav Larson, Vice Chair Tom Chambers, and CEO Nicole Sankula. Thanks for being here. They are wonderful partners for all of us. And last but not least, we are so pleased to have members of the O'Shaughnessy family here with us today. Michael O'Shaughnessy's great-great-grandnephew, Michael O'Shaughnessy, his wife, Sinead, daughters, Anna and Aoife, and son, Kieran. Thanks so much for being here. This is your legacy. Thank you all for being here today. The Michael O'Shaughnessy who oversaw the construction of this engineering marvel on which we now sit was a man of action. The chief was how he was often referred to. He had a tremendously long list of admirers, including the great novelist Jack London. We would not be standing here today without him. So to Michael O'Shaughnessy, thank you for your vision and your ingenuity. But as remarkable as Michael O'Shaughnessy was, some historians say the secret behind Hetch Hetchy's phenomenal construction success was twofold. They had the most talented group of engineers ever to come together, and they did it working as a team. I'd say that is still true today when you look at the men and women of the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission. They have continued to uphold that tradition to this day, and I want to thank them. A big part of the reason for that is a group of remarkable people who are with us today. The past leaders of our agency who carried on the creativity, teamwork, and innovation of Michael O'Shaughnessy. Some of whom are here today, talking about Ed Harrington, Susan Leal, Pat Martell, and Andy Moran. And also for those who are not here with us today, you saw their pictures up on the wall in Cottage 1, including Harlan Kelly. And I want to thank all of them for their tremendous leadership and stewardship of this great agency. The Hetch Hetchy Regional Water System has been a proven model of sustainability for 100 years, and O'Shaughnessy Dam is the keystone of that system. Doesn't need fossil fuel-powered pumps. There are no carbon emissions. The system provides clean drinking water for 2.7 million people using the most sustainable force around, gravity. O'Shaughnessy Dam stores water at elevation and uses gravity alone to move that water 167 miles across the state to the Bay Area, where it sustains communities in 4 counties: Alameda, Santa Clara, San Mateo, and San Francisco. The system is a clean energy trailblazer, generating 100% greenhouse gas-free electricity that powers an airport, transit system, port, libraries, and many other parts of everyday life in our world-renowned city. Our Hetch Hetchy system was sustainable before sustainability was a buzzword. It is the envy of cities across the country and around the world, and it's a big part of why the Bay Area became a thriving metropolitan center of innovation. Without a reliable source of clean drinking water, San Francisco does not become a major city. The Bay Area shipyards don't get built to draw workers from across the country. Silicon Valley doesn't happen. Biotech blooms elsewhere. Without this water system, the Bay Area as we know it does not exist. Not to say construction of this dam wasn't controversial. It was. In 1913, newspapers from coast to coast took editorial stands for or against the Hetch Hetchy proposal. This project helped galvanize the environmental movement, but time has shown that much of that criticism was overheated. As a public utility, every day working to be the utility of the future, we are committed to water security, power security, environmental stewardship, and ecosystem health. We have to balance all of these objectives simultaneously, and that is what we do. Hetch Hetchy waters, while sustaining millions of people in the Bay Area, are no barrier, keeping visitors away from enjoying the absolute stillness of the backcountry wilderness here. Those willing to leave their cars, trucks, campers, or motorcycles will find amazing hiking trails open from the trailhead right over there on the far side of the tunnel on the other side of the dam. What we can take away from all this is that Michael O'Shaughnessy and other San Francisco leaders had a vision for the future, and they didn't give up until they accomplished it. In this era of climate change, we have to be as visionary today as they were 100 years ago. That is our challenge, and I know that we are all up to it. We're lucky to be joined today by one of those visionary San Francisco leaders. Please join me in welcoming our mayor, London Breed.
I want to thank the National Park Service and Yosemite Park Service for all the work that you do in this beautiful area of our region. And thank you to all the people who are here, who come every single day to work to take care of this amazing water system. You know, we brag about how good the water is in San Francisco. And we don't necessarily see the people who are hard at work to make it such. We just assume it gets done by some magical people somewhere around San Francisco. And in fact, they're far from San Francisco and located right here every single day, taking care of this system that provides incredible water and incredible power and has for 100 years. You know, when I think about 100 years ago, what was going on in the state, in the region? Well, in San Francisco in particular, I know that the reason why this reservoir and dam came to be had everything to do with what happened during the 1906 earthquake, when the city was not only destroyed because of the earthquake, but 80% of the city was destroyed because of fire. And the city officials realized we needed to do something different to ensure that we had an appropriate water source so that we weren't put in a situation like that. A big part of when we talk about San Francisco and its resiliency has everything to do with when challenges occur in our city, we don't just, throw up our hands, we roll up our sleeves. And we come up with new ideas and ways to make things better for future generations to come. And this is one of those things. And during the time, Mayor John Rolfe selected Michael Hennessy, Hennessy, I'm thinking of the sheriff, Michael Maurice O'Shaughnessy, to basically come up with a system and to locate a system and some of the work that went into trying to develop this over years, including constructing a railroad to bring material, supplies, and people up to this location to create, at the time and still to this very day, one of the most significant engineering marvels anywhere, I think, in the world. Happened 100 years ago. And the work that needed to go into this required a lot of man and a little bit of woman power. You know how it was during those times. And the fact is they made it happen. And in 1923, the mayor and Mr. O'Shaughnessy, who was the chief of the department, came here and basically opened up this location to say that this is where the water supply and the power supply for the city and county of San Francisco will come from. And I also want to just mention the power supply that was created in this location was created because they had done something that had never been done before. When they were building this structure, they were working not just during the daytime when they had light, but they needed a power source so that they can work during the night hours as well. And so we are the beneficiaries, even today, with Clean Power SF and this amazing water to what happened 100 years ago. And as Dennis Herrera said, we have to continue to use some of that same creativity, that same innovation to do more, to address the various challenges around climate change. This is where a lot of the environmental movement started, and this is where it will continue to grow. So we celebrate here today the past, but we also recognize that the work needs to continue, and we recognize that it can be done when we come together. This was an example of government doing something right, the state, local, and federal government doing something to protect the environment, but also provide a consistent water and power source that will be acceptable in our city for many, many more years. We're celebrating 100 years, but this is something that will be sustained for hundreds of years to come. And so as we celebrate today, I want to take this opportunity to recognize, as I said, the folks who take care of Hetch Hetchy, but many of the various workers that work for the Public Utilities Commission, who are the arborists, who are the various engineers and the people who help not only maintain this system, but this entire region in light of the challenges around wildfires and other things that continue to persist. We rely on you to protect this beautiful asset so that we can continue to enjoy what we enjoy in major cities like San Francisco or the entire Bay Area. 2.7 million residents and businesses are the beneficiary of the work that you continue to do day in and day out. And as a result of that work, I want to take this opportunity to present a proclamation to the Public Utilities Commission President, Nusha Ajami, officially declaring today O'Shaughnessy Dam and Hetch Hetchy Reservoir Day in the city and county of San Francisco.
Good morning, everyone. It's a tough act to follow after Mr. Herrera and the mayor, but it is truly a pleasure to be here for me. It's to celebrate the centennial of the O'Shaughnessy Dam. It is wonderful to have the O'Shaughnessy family here. It is definitely making this day much more special for all of us. O'Shaughnessy Dam, and part of the system, is it is 100 years old, but our stewardship of this system is a reflection of its modernity and sustainability. There are many things to celebrate today, and one of it is this engineering marvel that we are all standing on or sitting on, and which has been a keystone of this municipal water and power that we all in the Bay Area depend on, and has been a gold standard. Another thing to celebrate is 100 years of learning and adapting. We have really tried to work with nature and protect these natural resources that sustains our city. The beautiful watershed that's behind me, obviously, is where our drinking water is coming from for millions of people in San Francisco and the 4 counties that depend on this water. It is protected and untouched by development, by industrial activities, by commercial development, and it's one of the marvels that we really depend on. And it's open, however, for recreation and for people to come and enjoy the outdoors. It's a beautiful open space to benefit from. San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, as it was mentioned, has been working closely with the National Park over the years by investing more than $8 million a year in the Yosemite National Park, focusing on projects and funding projects from road maintenance to educational activities to protecting fire protection and many more. And it is really a pleasure to continue this partnership and collaboration in the years to come. Both San Francisco and the Yosemite National Park are aligned in protecting the Tuolumne River natural resources and ecosystem and its majestic surroundings for current and future generations. Our water system was built to mimic nature. And as an effective water system, an effective natural water system, basically aims to protect the nature and work for the people who are enjoying it. So it is an important simultaneous goal that we are trying to achieve. The first step of having outstanding water quality and water is to protecting our watershed, as we mentioned, and has been definitely a cornerstone of that activities here. And by doing so, we are not only protecting a crucial water supply for millions of people, but we also protect these lands for public enjoyment and the benefit of the flora and fauna that call this home. The water is so fresh that, as it was mentioned, it does not require any treatment or any, we don't use any energy or any chemicals to treat this water, which is quite exceptional, for this time that we live in. And the system has also, as was mentioned, runs on gravity, which is the first natural clean energy source, so which is a wonderful thing for us, and in addition to generating energy for our city and community. San Francisco Public Utilities Commission have the responsibility to be good stewards of these precious resources in our care, and we have been achieving this through scientific studies, partnerships, and programs. Our data-driven and science-based operational strategy has been trying to inform the timing of the release that you see right now happening, and to protect the fish and also native species, as well as supporting the river rafters downstream. We also acknowledge that we must do our part to make the most efficient use of the water from this system to ensure we meet the modern challenges our system is facing, from climate change to environmental degradation. The San Francisco Public Utilities Commission has worked for decades to reduce water use. As many of you might know, San Francisco has the lowest water use in the state of California, and many of our wholesale customers also meet that standard. We are also constantly looking for investing in alternative water supplies, and we have been trying to diversify our water supply portfolio over the years. We have been trying to innovate and focus on new technologies and ideas. San Francisco, as some of you might know, has been the first city to embrace water reuse at every scale. We have on-site reuse at home scale, all the way to centralized systems that we are building to reuse water, reuse our wastewater. And we have been looking forward to continuing this tradition by expanding those efforts by completing the state-of-the-art enhanced recycling water facility, soon to irrigate Golden Gate Park and other areas in the city. We also have grant programs that some have been using for breweries and other commercial activities in the city to reuse their waters, especially in the breweries. They can use this grant to reuse brewery process water. And one of the breweries in San Francisco, Anchor Brewery, has been actually implementing that project, and they are actually saving up to 20 million gallons of water per year, which is quite significant. In order to ensure that this remarkable water system continues to serve future generations, we must continue to innovate and adapt to changing climate and shifting regulations, while being good stewards of the environment and achieving water affordability and environmental justice. Through sound science, partnership, and innovation and strong partnerships, we do really hope to meet the future challenges of the 21st century, and all the challenges that we are facing in the next 100 years. With that, I want to thank you all for being here. And I would, speaking of partners, I would like to invite Gustav Larsen, who is the chair of the Bay Area Water Conservation and Supply and Conservation Agency's board, to come and share some remarks. Thank you.
Well, good morning. And thank you, Mayor Breed and President Ajami and General Manager Herrera for inviting me and other leaders of the Bay Area Water Supply and Conservation Agency to participate in your celebration today of the construction of the O'Shaughnessy Dam. It is a magnificent engineering and economic accomplishment. It is independently operated and maintained today and funded solely by our water users. And though San Francisco owns this system and holds the water rights, it is truly a regional system, serving 2.7 million people in the Bay Area in communities big and small, affluent and disadvantaged, and is the lifeblood of the Bay Area and Northern California economies. When I thought about the Hetch Hetchy regional water system and the enormous achievements of the completion of this visionary engineering and governmental project 100 years ago, several words popped into my mind that I thought would be appropriate to share today. One is vision, the ability of Mr. O'Shaughnessy and his team of designers, engineers, and manual workers to envision this huge dam, to design it and deliver life-saving water to people and enterprises in the Bay Area under enormous climate dangers and financial and political challenges. The second word is courage, as exemplified by Mr. O'Shaughnessy and his team adjusting to this extraordinarily unfriendly climate for building this huge dam during months of severe weather and overcoming the unrelenting challenges of climate, physical, and financial danger. Just imagine those visionaries huddled in small buildings, making drawings and construction plans, and of course the individuals who did the work in a very challenging terrain. And when I woke up this morning and I saw the snow, I felt like I was getting a small taste of the challenges that they endured for many, many years. And finally, the word innovation. Think about the engineering challenges that had to be overcome to make it all work, to deliver a reliable supply of high-quality water to a large, diverse group of customers 167 miles away. It required ingenuity and risk-taking of a very high order. The challenge today for the Commission is principally strategic, but no less challenging, to deliver a reliable supply of high-quality water at a fair price to 2.7 million residents in 4 counties in the Bay Area every day. I have great confidence that all parties will be up to today's challenge. And now, please join me in welcoming Mr. Sam Yankovic from the office of our esteemed Senator Dianne Feinstein.
It is such an honor to be here representing Senator Feinstein. I know just how badly the senator wanted to be here with you all today, but I know that she is here in spirit. So I just wanted to very, very briefly read off from the proclamation that Senator Feinstein made in honor of this momentous occasion. In honor and recognition of O'Shaughnessy Dam and Hetch Hetchy Reservoir for its 100 years of service in partnership with Yosemite National Park and Tuolumne County. O'Shaughnessy Dam was designed in the early years of the 1900s and remains to this day a model of sustainability and is the keystone of a clean, efficient, and power delivery system that will continue to deliver high-quality drinking water to the San Francisco Bay Area. The Hetch Hetchy Regional Water System is a clean energy trailblazer, generating 100% greenhouse gas-free electricity that powers an airport, trauma hospital, transit system, and port while serving 2.7 million residents and thousands of businesses in 4 Bay Area counties. As the United States Senator representing the people of California, Senator Feinstein commends O'Shaughnessy Dam, Hetch Hetchy Reservoir, the PUC, and everyone for its 100 years of service through water supply, power generation, and watershed protection. And the Senator wishes for its continued success for the next 100 years and beyond.
I think what you heard from everybody is a uniform recognition of the importance of this incredible system for the Bay Area, San Francisco, but the area more generally. It required leadership, innovation, and forward thinking by our predecessors from 100 years ago. And the fact that everybody is here today, I think that is a testament to the fact that we all recognize its importance for the entirety of the region. And while we celebrate the contributions that were made by others 100 years ago, I think the lesson that we all need to take is the importance that all of us have to be just as visionary as we move into the next 100 years. And I know that everybody here recognizes that. And I know that everybody shares the commitment that we will be as good a stewards as our predecessors were to make sure that this system continues to serve as the lifeblood for San Francisco, but for the Bay Area more generally.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, lift.
Yes,
Exciting. As an engineer.
Here. 1, 2, 3. One here.
All right, on 3, say hetch hetchy. 1, 2, 3.
Hetch,